Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So we are going to be doing a sketchbook session today and don't know exactly how I want to draw, but I kind of had this idea. So let's get with the prepping first and then I will explain how I'm going to approach this idea. So to start off, you can kind of see that I have some drawings on the other side of this paper. This was from last week's session where I was doing the kind of like explaining my convention experience, some tips and stuff in kind of like a long formatted drawing video. But because I do at least like the Calligraphy sketch that I did, I'm going to try my best to kind of like preserve it a little bit more. So I'm going to stick some sticker paper in here to protect it because I would like to use alcohol markers to color said drawings today. I might have regrets because every time I color something very specific with alcohol markers, I never really like the result, but maybe we can try to remedy that today. So to start off, I've already measured out my sketchbook and I believe I'm just gonna cut out one entire sheet instead of two separate sheets like I typically do whenever I stick sticker paper in my sketchbook. So the sticker paper I like to use is a matte sticker label paper that I got off of Amazon. I just picked whatever was affordable. I think if I remember correctly, it doesn't blend super well, so I will try my best to do more of like a cell shading method. So let's start off with that and cut our paper down. So my sketchbook is a little bit larger than 8 by 10 when it's a full spread, so I'm just gonna cut it. And then we'll do 10 this way. So I had two ideas that I was going to do for today, but I think one would be more fun to do because I can include all of my OCs. So for the most part, this would fit. Some of the corners are just a tad larger. Applying like sticker paper, vinyl, anything like that always makes me nervous. Because technically I know I should not tear off the entire backing when I lay it down, but oh no. Slid while I was doing it. That sucks. It's okay. There's gonna be a lot of creasing, but we'll just deal with it. I will try to smooth it out with my thumbnail. And this is why I like to go a little bit smaller than my actual sketchbook spread, so that even though I have a lot of misalignment on here, it's not too bad actually. But here's our sticker paper. So it's basically acts pretty much like a normal sheet of paper, but because sticker paper has like a sticky coating on the back, it's going to protect the drawings on the other side. So I don't have to worry about marker bleed through, from my experience at least, using marker paper like this, or like sticker paper. Okay, so my little plan for today's drawing, or my idea, I guess. Not really a plan here. Which one do I want to use? Maybe we'll do a little bit of a refill while I talk about my plan. So I think a lot of you guys are aware that the Nintendo Switch 2 came out recently. Now growing up until even like, I think just the Nintendo Switch in general, I have never owned my own like console. I've always shared with my older brother, and then later on it would just be my older brother's console because he gamed just a lot more than I did. So it's just like, it made more sense that he would get the console because I would play only maybe like up to maybe 4 games while he would have like a whole library. I thought that this time, because we're living separately and you know all that stuff, we don't want to like share a console. I decided that I would just splurge the money this time and own my very first console. So I've always had handhelds like growing up, or like hand-me-downs or anything like that. So this time I wanted to play Mario Kart World as well. I initially was not going to. I was gonna buy like just the Nintendo Switch 2 on its own, and then me and my brother would play the Mario Kart World together whenever I came over. But I made a mistake, and when I was talking to the clerk at the front, I accidentally bought just the bundle pack. I'm assuming because they assumed that everyone's buying the bundle, that I was also buying the bundle, and it was a bad choice that I never checked what exactly I was purchasing. So yeah, I have Mario Kart World, and I thought it'd be fun to do a little illustration of my OCs, maybe in like the little Mario Kart vehicles. Kind of want to put somebody like in the front and we'll kind of like make them recede into the back or something like that. I think it could be fun. Or we could just like have them floating around on the page in their individual carts. The first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna determine who's going to be in the very front. This is gonna be very reflective, so I'm sorry. But let's see who is gonna be our main. So Koji's gonna be in the very front, and then I'm gonna write this down actually. I should have done the elimination actually. Wait a second. Maybe I won't. We'll do Koji. Oh yes, I do have the elimination on. Okay, perfect. We have Sato. This actually works out very well in terms of how I imagine them playing video games. Kaizen. I would assume non-gamers. Moriko. Well, I guess Akemi probably does game. I feel like Masaki doesn't really. Masaki. And then we have Akemi last, so we can reset this. So for the cart order, try my best to make it look like they're racing. We'll see. I might have to do a little bit of thumbnailing. It'll be going Koji, Sato, Kaisen, Moriko, Masaki, Akemi. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm also going to assign them carts. So this is where I'm going to be struggling quite a bit. And I might put this into time-lapse instead of doing the real-time talking, just so that I can solely focus on drawing the vehicles. Okay, let's write down the order and Akemi, and then I'll leave all the room down here so that we can do thumbnailing. But let me roll their numbers really quick. So 24, 11, 10, 7, 10. I guess I don't want to give them the same bikes. We'll do 23 and 9. First one's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blastronaut 3. So it's 7, 8, 9, carpet flyer. I think this would be cute actually if I did it as a digital drawing instead. Bulldozer. I feel like Kaisen's matches. 11 is the bighorn. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23. Cloud9, cute. And standard bike for Koji. So I'll be drawing them as chibis. And for some reason I just don't like the way how I draw my chibis with alcohol markers. I don't know if it's because they look too plain or too flat, or it just looks too messy. Koji's first. I'll give him a crown of some sort. I think hers is also a bike. I'll put Kaisen here. I think Moriko's is also a bike. Am I drawing mostly bikes? I know Masaki's is a cart. Something like this could work too, but I think this would work the best. So I'm gonna probably go in time-lapse mode so I can try my best to sketch this out as best as I can. And I might simplify their bikes or something. Okay, so now that we are finished with the sketch, I am going to move on to line art and coloring. So I am going to change a few things. Initially, I was going to do the line art with the Magic Fly markers, but I am not going to do that because it'll be painstakingly hard for me to get thicker lines. And I think it'll be a little bit easier for me to do that with my calligraphy pens. So we'll see how well this works. I might mix and match them a little bit with maybe the Ohuhu black fine liners if I need something actually super tiny. Before I ever do any inking, because my memory is so poor right now, I did do a quick test. So this is one of the scraps from the sticker paper that I cut off earlier. So I have these two pens, which are these ones, which we could use. It didn't have too bad of like a little bit of smearing. I did choose a yellow on purpose so that I can see if there was any like significant amount of budging of the pigment. And then these ones had a lot less, which is, I think, is a little bit better. For colors, I was gonna color everybody individually, but to make sure that we have a little bit less of a headache of organizing colors and making sure things look a little bit more cohesive, let's stick with a color palette. I'm gravitating towards this color palette. Sorry about the glare. I'll take a screenshot actually, so you guys can see it a little bit better. But this one has like colors that I really like. Also be helpful to grab color swatches if you have them. So I just don't know if I want to change this color, but I think this is actually a kind of nice color palette. I feel like I can't find colors ever. Here it is. Okay, let's try this. So I'm gonna do a quick swipe across all of them. It does give more of like a warmer tinge to everything, which I don't think I mind. So let's stick with this. So I think for starting off, I'm gonna use this pen. It's in Chinese, but I bought it because it came with like its own little ink refill that I wanted to use to refill these, and I just hoped for the best that they will be like the same consistency for the most part, and it's pretty similar. So I think I'm gonna hopefully use that to refill any of my pens in the future. But this one is a little bit of a sharper, smaller tip compared to the other pen that it came with, which has like much more of like a brush tip that's like a lot thicker and larger. I think a lot of you guys know that I'm not super confident when it comes to inking. Brushwork is not typically too bad for me, but using brush pen I feel like it's a little bit of a different experience. So my hope for the ink that I got for buying this particular pen is that I want it to be water, or I guess like alcohol resistant, because I use it more with my alcohol markers if anything. But then the other thing I would wish for this to have is the fact that I would want it to be dark enough so that it's not super streaky, because every time I've done like ink refills for some of my other brush pens, they've been streaky or watery. But line art will always be my least favorite for the most part. Sometimes I like it, but that's very dependent on whether or not I get good results from my line art, I think. So the thing is like I don't know how I want to do the eyes. Something tells me I want to do like the half lid, but then it'll be harder for Moriko because her eyes are on the lighter side and her skin tone's on the darker side. But with the center, leaving it with that little white. So kind of just how I sketch typically if I'm doing like doodling or sketching on chibis. I think I'll do a few of his freckles with the pen, and then we'll use some of the mid-tone colors to do the rest. I always watch those videos of like people explaining how they do their line art with brush pens, or just like in general, I guess, like for traditional medium. I still don't, I don't know how. Because the other option was to use like the Ohuhu fine liners, because they also have ones that vary in thickness, but not exactly like a brush pen would. So I could have done that and just like gradually got smaller and smaller for our lines as we approach the back. I usually get more silent when it comes to working on the line art. I don't know if it's because I don't draw Sato enough. I already drew her hair like incorrectly. I don't know how exactly this is gonna look with the color palette I chose. I think the color palette is from an artist that I actually do follow. I think it's Nemupan. There used to be an artist I watched in the past. They would like strictly ink with brush pen. I don't really remember who it was though. It's been a while. It's been like several years. I forget our little... Is this like a bumper? I'm not too sure. I don't know the parts of cars. Don't ask me. Also for like Mario Kart World, pretty solid game, I think. It's just fun. But also, I don't know. I have to do a little bit more research because I actually don't know if this is not a thing anymore. I know like a lot of the characters have like costumes that you can unlock, at least for the main cast. But like, did they get rid of the color selection? Like, I can't be a light blue shy guy anymore. I can only be like the pit crew shy guy, or like I forget what the other one is. The snowboarding one, I think. How thick is medium? Nope, I think we're good. I think these ones, because of their squishy felt tip-ish kind of nib, I can get like thinner lines compared to this, like an actual brush tip. He looks so funny. Give him too wide of a face. She's also like one of my OCs that I definitely can freehand a little bit easier. Masaki's like the one that like his is ingrained via muscle memory, especially for like his hair and stuff. Okay, let me decipher what I'm looking at. I don't think I explained the other idea I had was drawing these guys with like the fantasy life outfits, because when you change jobs they get different outfits, and I think some of them are so dang cute. I kind of regret not making Masaki my character, but making Selwyn my character just made more sense because his story is up in the air. Nice. A very uneven pipe. I don't know why I'm drawing the pipe with like an angle. Like I'm treating them more like pots rather than like actual sturdy pipes. To kind of get me back into drawing in my sketchbook more frequently, I think I will do some more like OC art planning in here, because I think more recently I've been doing planning outside of my sketchbook. I don't know why I made it so screwed up looking. My sketch looked okay, and I followed none of the lines. I forget what, whoa. I forget exactly what I was drawing, but I know I said I commit like Masaki's design low-key to muscle memory. But I think when I was drawing him recently, I could not get his hair to look correct. Okay, let's look at our cloud cart. Cloud 9, I guess. This one's one of my favorite carts just because it's so cute. And I think the drifts like works for how I drift, I think. Last but not least, the cart a card that I could not really draw. I kind of wish I put him more further in the back because the way where he's placed, it doesn't make sense that he's in front of Masaki, but he's also too small to be directly behind him either, so it's like oddly placed. I mean, considering all these guys are all together like this, being 6 isn't too bad. Am I really gonna talk about this? Is there not really any rubber banding in Mario Kart World? Or am I crazy? That or I truly don't know the tracks enough and maybe I'm not taking my lines like tight enough? But, like sometimes I feel like I had a lead and then suddenly they just appear out of nowhere. With how close they all are, they're all gonna be all speed boosting off of each other. Okay, so I think we can zoom out and then we'll do some coloring. Okay, so here's our lines. I don't know if it's because of the thicker line art or because this is such a derpy, silly drawing. It's definitely gonna feel more like a coloring book when I'm doing the actual coloring portion. So I'm just gonna lightly erase a good portion of my sketch out of the way because we do have a few light colors. So reminder, this is our color palette. Having so much ink on my hands. Hopefully I'm not spreading it everywhere, but here's our color palette. We're using the purple one for our shadows. Also, if anyone's interested in the colors, if I can get these all facing the correct way. So most likely these will be for our skin tones. I can even branch into this color if I need to, even though it might make them a little bit too like sunburnt looking. But value-wise, I think it might be okay with these 3. And then we have a nice accent color of something a little bit on the cooler side. We have something on the darker spectrum, I guess, in terms of our values. And then this will be our shadow color. Okay, treating this like a coloring book. So like I said, I don't think I can really do any blending, but let's do our first place. Do a little testing here. It's a little bit smearing from our first marker that I was using for our line art. Don't know why I'm using this side, but yeah, I don't know. The blending looks a little bit better on camera because I know for a fact that I can't really blend on this sticker paper. I think it's also because my colors are so close together, it doesn't look too bad. Temperature wise, the value wise, like I think all of them are pretty close. Do I want to make these for the pipes? I guess I do. Yeah, this green is suffering a little bit. Blues. Where are my other alcohol markers? Okay, I do a little bit of testing here. It's a little bit more blue. This one's super light. Maybe this one? Ooh, it's even lighter. This one's really light as well. This one's really green. Okay, I think our best bet is probably this color. It's not too off. It's a little bit more vibrant and slightly darker. Continuing to color the rest of our pipes. Okay, other than that, let's work on skin. So I think, where's my swatches? Being a little bit wary because I honestly don't know how I want to exactly shade these in. I think like leaving an edge will help keep it a little bit less flat. What is it called? Spreads out and smudges a bit. Everyone has their mouth open. Okay, then let's start off with Koji. Realizing that his hair color will also have to be something similar to this. Some of the people who have darker hair colors, I'm gonna have to kind of figure out how I want to do their values. Little Akemi. So I don't think Moriko's skin tone's still correct. I'm scared to make it too dark right off the bat, but maybe this color might be better. Because this would be closer to her skin tone, technically. Kind of two kind of reverse curves for a band of highlights. The thing is, Moriko's hair color is also black, so will this be too much? I might have to see if I can layer up some of the colors together so that hers doesn't become just entirely monochromatic here. See, it's kind of hard for me to determine if I wanted to pick a color for the value or for the color temperature. I forgot his little scar on his face. I don't know if I should have went brown. This doesn't look too bad anymore. We'll color this also green here. Can I change this? Add some of that pale yellow to the crown. This definitely worked out better in my brain. But there is still a lot of like white area, so we'll just continue to really fill some stuff in here. This looks so silly. See, it's mostly a red bike. I don't know if there's really any salvaging of this. It looks so silly. If I have time, I'm gonna squeeze in that drawing. I think it's still fun to do, but it really does give me like coloring book vibes, and that's typically not how I like to color. Maybe I'll go back in also with like our fine liners and try to spruce things up, because this is looking a little too sparse. Another way is like I could have done majority of like the shading with one color first and then accented it all afterwards. So I want more green in hers. So I think I'm gonna make her Kurt green rather than the black currant color that I used. It's a blue color, or in this case green. Masaki, and then we have Akemi's little car, which I will make a little bit darker as well. Or peach color, I guess. Or like give a little bit of shading. Okay, last but not least, let's try using the purple and see if we can add a little bit of shading to everything. It might look muddy, which I might regret, but maybe it'll be okay. Closes their eyes open. Moriko. She can't really see shading for hers. So unlike the peach color and on the green, I think the purple actually looks pretty well, so we can probably do this. Yeah, this purple really works nicely on the green. This feels more like a children's illustration almost. It's so derpy. If I can finish one in time, I will put like a little... I don't know if I'll remember to do a time lapse or I'll screen record it or something. I'll do something so that we can have a better representation of this silly little illustration that I'm making. The rest is for our gravel path or sand path or something. Okay, silly little illustration because my hyperfixation right now is probably Mario Kart World and Fantasy Life. So yeah, here's a little illustration of my OCs and like a little Mario Kart-esque little world. But yeah, I think that's it for today's little silly illustration. I will see if I want to touch up anything really quickly and then we'll come back maybe. Because I actually don't know what else I can do to really clean this up unless I just want to add like extra little bits of line for texture and detailing maybe. What else will need a little bit more sprucing up? I mean, adding little texture lines here and there. But I think that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me draw something a little bit sillier for today. I think overall I don't mind it, maybe because the color palette isn't too badly done, I guess, in a certain kind of way. I do want more green here somehow. I don't know. I don't know what I want more from this technically. Kind of silly. If I have time, like I mentioned, I will see if I can do like another illustration at the very end. So if that comes to fruition, you'll see maybe a time lapse of it alongside with the full illustration. But otherwise, I will see you guys next time in the next video. Bye! Ah. Just to put them where... Let's cut them even more. Let's keep it right at the top. There we go. Color swatches.